Hello and welcome to the other episode of Fight on Montana. We are the podcast where we take a deep dive into everything Grizzly athletics. I am Adam Healy, your host. I'm here with my co-host, none other than Angel Villanueva.
Let's go.
And we have a awesome episode for you today, guys. Before we get into our episode, I'd like to remind the listeners to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us and get a hold of us on platforms as in Twitter, Instagram, and also our Facebook page at Fight on Montana. But let's get into this episode. We have the great pleasure to have the newest member of the Grizzlies, none other than Isiah Childs. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, we're really excited to have you.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man. So Isiah, just kind of really simply just give a quick introduction of yourself, how you kind of came about this process. I'm sure the fans, they don't care about me to Adam here.
Yeah.
They really kind of want to know a little bit about you, your background, your story. So what can you tell the fans out there?
So I'm a transfer student from the University of Akron. Technically, I'll be a sophomore in the classroom, but still a freshman on the field. I didn't lose a year because of COVID. Originally from Wamego, Kansas, 3-star athlete out of there, and I'm coming here to play running back. So, I'm excited to get out here and, represent the school and represent the community. So.
Sweet, man. I love to hear it. Walk us a little bit. What was it like growing up in, you said Wamego, Kansas, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how was that kind of growing up, though? Just talk to us a little bit about your youth.
Playing football, football is a real big thing out there. Stepdad came into my life when I was 6 and really taught me how to play football. And so running back, that was my love right then and there. I love playing football. It was pretty rough around like all the other kids during recess and stuff. And so it pretty much fit into me right there. But man, Wamego, it was kind of like Missoula here, like really big, like football town, football oriented. And I just loved it. Friday nights, everyone in the town would come to the games and it would be like a really big thing. And so, Wamego was probably just, honestly, like probably one of the highlights, of my life and, high school career. And if I can give any advice to anybody in Kansas, like that's where the best football is in Wamego, Kansas. So.
Whoa, man, I'm from California. I don't know about that. I might have to argue with you just a little bit.
Hey, man, it's beautiful out there. So I'll let you. We can do that.
Nice. Man, I'm just playing with you, man. I love to hear it. I love it. Do you feel like, the running back position, you just kind of really naturally fell into it, or is it something that you really had to work and kind of grind out?
I naturally fell into it. So it was kind of funny. Played flag football for a little bit, and I was the fastest kid out there. And so my stepdad was like, "Hey," told my mom put me in tackle football, and they didn't have a second grade team at the time, so I had to play up with the third graders. And literally my first carry broke it for 80. And so ever since then, it was just like, man, football, and playing running back. The running back position, you can switch up the game, switch up the tempo so much. And so that's why I love it.
So, Isiah, growing up in Kansas, and I believe you have a South Korean family ties.
Yes,
how was that growing up in, Kansas, where there's probably not a huge South Korean population? You're probably same thing with Montana. How was that growing up, and just kind of go into that?
So really honestly, not a lot of people knew I was Korean. And so they obviously knew I wasn't fully black. And so, when I had told people about it, they were honestly kind of shocked by it and a little bit amazed, and everyone thought it was cool. But, you don't really get a lot of my culture, my Asian culture out there in Kansas. And so you have a little bit of it. So, it was nothing really I had nothing much to deal with, nothing bullying in high school or middle school with it. So, like I said, everyone in Wamego was really welcome arms to newcomers in town and stuff. So I never really had problems with, my heritage out there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you born there?
No. So my mom was born there, and my grandpa, he was in the military and got stationed in Fort Riley. And that's in Kansas. So that's about 30 minutes from where I'm from in Wamego. And so he met my grandmother in Korea, and my mom was born here in the United States. So
cool.
Yes,
There
sir.
you go, man. Family ties. There you go. You know what? It's kind of one of those things for me too, Isaiah. So you can't really tell, but I'm Mexican. I'm
Okay.
just like I'm a Canelo type. You know, I have the light skin, I have the red beard. So it's a little bit. I kind of relate to you in a sense. You know, growing up, I was fortunate. I was really kind of being surrounded and grown up in that culture. Coming over here, it was a big kind of culture shift for me. So it took a little bit of time for me to kind of adjust to it. You know, and do you think that's kind of something that you're expecting, or do you think you're gonna fit in pretty well?
I think I'm gonna fit in pretty well, meeting a
Mhm,
couple people like just like throughout town and stuff, and my
mhm,
teammates, showing me around. Like everyone's been like really welcome arms and
mhm.
showing me around the place. So I know like Missoula is. I know I picked the right spot right here.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to
just
hear it,
excited
bro.
to meet more people, honestly. So
Yeah.
That's
See,
awesome.
that was one of my biggest things too, because coming from California, you know, just people just aren't as naturally friendly, a little bit more aggressive, you know, even
yeah,
when you're walking down the street. So it was a big change for me too, but it was one that I fell in love with. You know, you could really kind of be at peace and just knowing that you're not going to be getting into any type of trouble, you know, because you're surrounded by really just genuine people that really care about you. Not Adam, I don't know about him, but everybody else, we can have that conversation for.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So Isaiah, growing up in Kansas, Wamego, I believe, is pretty close to Kansas State.
yeah. That's
Um,
15 minutes away from Kansas State. So
yeah. So was that your dream school growing up, or did you have another dream school? Because
my dream school was Oklahoma,
oh,
and
okay.
that was honestly like my favorite running back's Adrian Peterson. That's my favorite running back of all time. So like watching his highlights as a kid, like I was like, I'm gonna break all his records, and I want to go there. And unfortunately, I talked to him a little bit. Talked to Lincoln Riley in my recruiting process, and I didn't obviously get that offer. But Kansas State, they offered me going the summer going into my senior year and stuff. But Kansas State, really good town, great university and stuff. It was just personally me. I kind of wanted to get away from home for a little bit and branch out and see new opportunities, and explore the world a little bit.
Mm.
Awesome.
That's really awesome, dude. Just kind of out of curiosity, I feel like there's a point, or at least I would like to say, at least in my life, there was really a point where I knew I wanted to pursue football a little bit more seriously. Do you remember that time? Were you in a tough place? Was it a good time for you? Was it just something that just kind of naturally clicked, or is there really kind of a story behind that?
So honestly, it clicked for me really early. So my parents had split up when I was 5, and so it was just my mom raising me, single mother, and she had me when she was 16, and that's like literally my best friend and everything. And
Hmm.
so I literally do everything for her, and for my family. But it kind of started clicking in for me. I was watching a football game. It was LaDainian Tomlinson. He was playing for the Chargers, and broke the touchdown record that year. And I remember it was at the Charger Stadium and everything. And he was just saw his pregame interview, and I was like, dude, I want to be like that. And I'm just like looking around in my house, and we didn't have any furniture in my house, like barely any food in our refrigerator. So then I told my mom, like right then and there, I was like, you ain't got to worry about nothing. And so that was pretty much like my clicking point for me. I'm like, this is what I want to do, and there's like no plan B. This is plan A. And so
Hmm.
yeah.
Man on a mission, man. I love to hear it. I love to
Yes,
hear
sir.
it.
Yes,
That's
sir.
inspiring, bro.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm sure you're making your family proud, and they're really excited to see what you put out.
Yeah, do it all for them. So I appreciate
Oh
that.
yeah,
Thank you.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
So, what kind of, you mentioned some of the growing up and having some, no food in your fridge and stuff like that. So what kind of other heartaches, tribulations have you gone through, to make it to this point? You've played Division I football and now are going to the FCS. What has gone from the start of your childhood to up to this point?
So like my mom, like I said, she was a single mother. My
Mhm.
dad like left early, and we still talk to this day. Me and him still talk to this day, so I'm fortunate for that. But just looking out for my mom, being there, and my stepdad came into my life early and really taught me, how to be a man and do the right things as a man, as you obviously got to do. And through middle school was a great time for me. I had broke my foot in middle school, like the third game of like my middle school career. I'm 7th grade, and so that kind of sucked. Then coming out to 8th grade year, had a great 8th grade year, and then 9th grade started off really well. I only played 6 games for like my freshman season, then got moved up to varsity to play defense a little bit, and so that was pretty fun. Sophomore year, I had a good year for football, and junior year kind of sucked. Broke my collarbone 4th game of the year.
Cool.
and I was doing really good. And then came back later on towards the end of the season in our semi-state game, and blowed out a little bit. Then we ended up losing that game. And then I had transferred schools at the beginning of my second semester of my junior year, and I went to Wamego. And so then senior year went to Wamego, then broke my foot again on senior night of my senior year. And so it's been a lot of ups and downs, but I always tell everybody, I was like, if it wasn't for those ups and downs, it wouldn't have made me the person I am today. So I'm honestly thankful for that.
Amen.
And just
amen, man.
kind of think about those injuries, bro. Just how do you think they've really put you in a position to grow as a young man, as an athlete? Kind of talking like, in this situation, obviously you're in a position to really inspire the youth, So, if somebody was listening, what would you kind of tell them to internalize those, those trials and tribulations and make it their own,
Honestly, like if they were an athlete, not even being an athlete too, just like a regular person, like you're gonna have your hard days, and sometimes life sucks sometimes, you're gonna have your bumps and bruises, but those bumps and bruises are gonna help you out in the long run, and you're gonna learn from them too. And being an athlete, having those type of injuries, it makes you take things like less for granted. So like obviously like coming to practice and playing in games and being with your teammates, it makes you appreciate those things a lot more. And I know I appreciate those things a lot more. And so I try to tell everybody that, especially like the younger kids, like, hey, take this serious, because knowing it's your last play or last opportunity to step out on the field. So just embrace it, enjoy every moment of it, and take it to the fullest.
What with your injuries and stuff like that, what drives you as a player? What drives you to keep on putting in the work and keep on striving to where you want to go?
So I always compare it. So Kobe Bryant's my favorite athlete of all time. The way his mentality was. And always like something that always sticks out to me is like someone's out there trying to take my spot or outwork me. And so that's why I really just like focus my mind on, is that someone's out trying to outwork me out there, and I can't let them do that. So that's
exactly, bro.
It drives me every day.
It's that drive, man.
Yes, sir.
It's either you, man. It's that's the awesome part about this. Obviously it's a team sport, but really you're in control of your destiny. Your position. You're given a job. For me, it was playing offensive line. So for me, Germer put that responsibility on me. Hey, you got to make sure you're big enough, strong enough, fast enough, being able to do that stuff. And I'm just really fortunate to be put in those positions, because it's even though it's a team. It's a team effort. At the same time, you got to do your individual part, and it sounds like you're getting it done.
Yes, sir.
So your senior year, you balled out, dude. You 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, and like you said, you missed some games too.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird how like the season started. So I was really hyped coming into it. First 2 games of the year had, I think it was 8 touchdowns and rushed for 500 yards, something like that, in the first 2 games of the year.
Now you just showing off, bro. Now you just showing off at this point.
And so, played a little bit into more in the season, and then it was just sucked. Like senior night, had broke my foot, and it just like kind of dwindled from there. So it just like, like I said, every day I always act like someone's trying to outwork me. I put a lot of pressure on myself, or just try to have something like just going against me, because it makes me, humbler, and also makes me like eager to work. So every game I would always like try to set a milestone for myself, or it makes, tell a lie to myself to make me mad or something. So,
so man, kind of thinking about, obviously after that you got a scholarship to go play at the University of Akron. Walk us through a little bit of that process. What was that journey like, that part of your life like?
So, honestly, like the recruiting process, like it was weird, really weird how it happened. So freshman and sophomore year, got some playing time on varsity. Junior year, balled out like my first 4 games and got hurt, and played 1 more game. So a total of 5 games my junior year, out of a total of, I think 12 we had in the season. So I didn't really have that much junior film. And then I went to a combine in Kansas, and there was like a bunch of reporters and stuff, and not a lot of people knew my name. Put up some good numbers at the combine, and Akron saw like my numbers, and they were the first school to offer me. And then went to a couple more camps, started putting up some good numbers again, went to a K-State camp, and a lot of more schools started offering me. And with the process with Akron, one of the coaches, he was from Kansas that recruited me, and so I like really fell in love with them. And Akron was the first school to offer me at running back, and so everything felt right at the time with them. And so I just prayed to the man above, and just followed his lead and chose Akron at that time. So
Awesome.
And what other positions did you play or get offered at?
So I got offered at linebacker and safety, and then at quarterback too. So.
Oh man, just all around, huh?
Yeah. I played a lot of
Athlete,
positions
bro.
my junior year, so they
There
pretty
you
much
go.
just put me as an athlete, pretty much. Yeah. So.
Well, like in
So
your senior tape, like you are not afraid to hit somebody.
Yeah.
Just like running back, you can shake and bake a little bit, but you can honestly just like lay and level somebody out. Linebacker, you've got that quick speed, and safety as well. Man, I could, if something doesn't work out, man, you've got a spot no matter what, because you've got the versatility. I could see at safety, I'm not a coach by any means, but man, I think you're golden for whatever position they want you. And I think they're telling you that they want you at running back, right?
Yes, sir, at running back. And so that was like my desired position. I told him, I was like, any spot I can help the team at, I want the team to win, teams first. And so any position they need me at, O-line, D-line, punter or something, I'll do it for them.
So Isiah, it's kind of funny that you say that. I think you're in a real fortunate, really position to just be as versatile as you are. So one of my things when I first got to university, I'm just a curious cat in general. So I go around asking all the questions to the guys that've been around the NFL, because obviously at the time for me, my dream was NFL too. I come from a similar story as you. My mama had me when she was 17. It is what it is. And so because of that, one of the things that it was a common theme through the people that I kept talking about that had the chance and opportunity to play at the next level was, hey, learn every position that you can. The more versatile you are, the more likely you're going to be able to stay on the roster. So I guess that's my advice to you, kind of embrace this little, the versatility that you kind of bring to the table, and just be a little bit open-minded. You just never know what you're going to expect and what you can fall into, bro,
Exactly. And that's why I tell it, all the kids that are about to, be seniors at my high school. I was like, be open to playing any position, puts more value to you. So the more positions you can play, the more you'll get recruited by school. So
and it's also just great for the team too. At the end of the day, some of my favorite players of all time were players that were just so open and willing to play other positions. So open and willing to just be, hey, I'm gonna go get it done. I don't care what I have to do. I'm not the type of guy that be able to handle. You put me at linebacker, I'm missing every tackle. That will not work out for me. But you know what? The guys that were doing that, I just had such tremendous respect for them.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
So what drove you to leave Akron to come to Montana?
And so I had a hot grade 3 ankle sprain going into literally like our first game of the year. And so I was in the starting rotation, and it just kind of sucked, and my ankle didn't really get much better from there. And so technically took a medical redshirt year because we didn't have we had a fall season this year, and it was only 5 games. And so pretty much the coaching staff just told me, just sit out, it's only 5 games. That won't count towards you. So just, come to practice, learn the playbook, and be ready for next year. And then came into the spring ball, and my position coach left. And so it kind of sucked for me because that was the only really coach that I really knew. And then they wanted us to switch my position at linebacker. And we had 2 guys, technically 3 guys that were starters last year. And our first 2 starters were first team all conference. And so it was going to be a while till, I got some playing time. And so I just pretty much told the head coach, my best interest is, to leave. And I was put all my faith in the man upstairs. And, it was a long process. Sometimes there was ups and downs in the process, but, I just kept on believing, and I knew that, my talents and the person that I am, that a school was going to find me and take a chance on me. So,
and that's how kind of Montana came in the picture, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how Montana.
Man, I'm telling you, Montana always comes through, bro. What can I say, man? It's kind of the same thing.
I was really happy. That was honestly one of the top FCS schools I was looking at. I had all my charts of schools that, I was interested in, and Montana was the first to hit me up, and so I was like, man, this is, this means something, So
yeah, and it's kind of like you said. You mentioned it a couple times. You just kind of leave it to the big man upstairs. It really is. He kind of puts these opportunities at the right time, at the right moment, and you don't even expect it to come out of out of the place that it came out of.
Exactly.
So obviously, just kind of continue on, bro. We're really excited to have you. I think you made the best decision in your life, and I just can't wait to once this kind of story in this chapter kind of closes, to kind of, come back to this and say, hey, you know what? Was I right or was I right? One of those conversations. Yeah.
Yes.
So, you kind of mentioned a little bit about how the whole process unfolded, but what really kind of, when you initially had those conversations with the coaches, maybe with some of the players, I don't know how that kind of went down, but, what was your kind of initial reaction? Where was your head at? What you like about the place?
So Coach Green was the running backs coach here, and he hit me up. We had a really long phone call. Our first phone call was almost like 45 minutes, and it was late at night too, because we're on East Coast time in Akron. So it was like, probably like midnight or something.
Oh wow!
He called me, and it's 2 hours behind here in Missoula, so it was like 10 o'clock here. We didn't almost get off the phone till like 1 o'clock. And so that's like when I knew, I was like, man, this dude, like, genuinely wants me to, be a part of this. And he told me the situation.
Were you like, dude, do you know what time it is?
I know. I was like, man, but we were talking ball and talking about life and, the opportunities that he saw for me as an athlete, and as a student athlete here, and told me the situation in the running back room. And just really told me, like, if I put the hard work in that I usually always do, and just keep my head down, that I'll have a good chance, of getting some pretty good playing time here. And, I believed him, and I chose here. And so ever since then, it was, the best decision I've made. So
that's awesome. What really kind of things? What kind of things did you, like about the University of Montana that you kind of were like, drove you to the university? What did you know about University of Montana? Some things like that.
So the first thing I knew was the rivalry, against Montana State. And that's what, I always ask coaches, like, what's, your big time rival? Because, I want to know, like, the history about the school. And he told me about that. And then I know the fans are crazy up here, man. And it's a sellout game, literally every game. And I watched the games from 2018 and 2019, and you guys were competing your asses off and in the playoffs and stuff. So I was like, man, like, this team's like a bunch of fighters, and that's personally me, like how I grew up at a fight and claw my way through everything. And I just like love the mentality of the team, and great town, a great university. And I was just like looking more research up every day, and it really sold it. Montana really sold me was when you guys played those 2 spring games, and just watching how the team played.
Yeah.
And everyone was fired up, man. I was just like, man, like, this is, I'm going to put all my chips in, and go for it. And I was like, I'm glad I made this decision. So.
That's awesome.
Man,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I'd love to hear that story, bro. Yeah, you'll learn about those rivalries real quick.
Yeah,
you'll learn about it real quick. And when you do, it's one of those things at first you just kind of don't really understand it, because all you hear is people talking about it. And because of it, you play into the hype a little bit, but it's not until you're on that field you get to experience what it's like to step up against those guys. That won't be named, but I mean, once that time comes, it'll be a good time for sure. Now, Isiah, I have a really important question for you, man, because I struggled with this when I first got offered. Did you know where Montana was on the map before you committed?
Honestly,
be honest
I really
with me.
thought it was above Kansas, like, not gonna lie. I really thought I had to look at it. I was like, damn, like, we're almost by, Washington and California. So I'm like, wow, we're like West Coast a little bit. So
hey, that's the West Coast is the best coast, man. What can I say?
And I was like, the first thing I thought was like, man, it's gonna snow a lot too. So I was like, I'll make sure I got my snow gear ready. So.
Have you been around the snow? I don't know if it snows very heavily in Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been around the snow in Kansas. We go sledding and stuff. But I never like been snowboarding, and so a lot of the guys were like, yeah, snowboarding and skiing, go up here a lot. So I'm like, okay, been fishing all the time. We go noodling in Kansas. I don't really know if you guys know what noodling is. But...
Noodling.
Oh, is that where you put your hand into like the ground and you pull out the fish?
Yeah,
bro,
pull out the catfish out of the ground, and so
that's
what? Like, yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do is to go noodling and stuff. So.
Hey man, you build different over there. That's all I
Yeah.
have
Like
to say.
in the ground?
Yeah, like you literally put your arm under like a little sea channel, and that's where like the catfish are, and you
Huh.
feel them out, and you gotta let them bite you before you pull it out, and you just
Oh,
pull out a catfish with your whole hand and stuff. So
dang.
yeah, I was like, I got a
Man.
couple battle wounds from them, but you know, it's an adrenaline rush. I really like it. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And do you guys? I would assume that it's like a fish fry right afterwards.
yep, exactly.
Oh man, I bet it's crazy,
Yeah,
crazy good.
it's dope, man.
Yeah,
We get some good cooking out there too. So
there you go, man. That's cool. So kind of moving on the track. I know obviously you're here now. We're happy to have you here, but just kind of walking through some of the schools that you maybe kind of were talking to you or kind of on your radar.
so as soon as like I hit the portal, Southern Illinois was one of the top schools that hit me, and then Louisiana Lafayette and Louisiana Monroe. They were
Hmm.
two more schools that hit me up, in Kansas State and Texas Tech, and it just kind of sucked at the moment because they weren't really like didn't know where their positions were with like scholarships and everything. So it just kind of took a while. And then Montana, they just told me the situation with the running back room, and they just told me like we're really interested in you, and they're the first school to offer, without even really like meeting me, and
Hmm.
so that just like really stood out to me. And so like those schools, I appreciate them like recruiting me and everything and wanting to be able to take a chance on me. But I was like, Montana's, my school. And so ever since then, I'm in love with the choice that I picked. So
There you go, bro.
So Isaiah,
There you go.
talking about your game, what do you feel is the best part of your game, and who do you kind of mirror your game after former or long ago players?
So I think the best part of my game would probably have to be my physicality, and I try to hone in. Like I'm a pretty big guy to play running back, and so I try to play smaller than I am. And so the two guys I really like look forward to and like watching are obviously Adrian Peterson. That's my favorite running back. But I think a modern guy that I would have to say would probably be, gosh, either a long time ago is either Eric Dickerson,
Hmm?
and favorite player right now would probably have to be Ezekiel Elliott. So
Nice,
Yep,
nice.
yep. He's a beast, man. He's a beast
those are
for
my
sure.
top three favorite running backs. They're always falling forward, taking contact, and they're quick too. So.
Hmm.
So are you 6'3", 205 or 6'3"?
So 6'2", 6'3" with my hair.
Okay.
with my hair.
I'm gonna say that to the viewers. No, I'm not 6'3", but I'm legit 6'2". So
Hmm.
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So, kind of thinking about your game, I think it's really important to I mean, for me personally, I always knew there was something else to kind of strive for.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thinking about your game, where would you like to see kind of growth? Where do you want to challenge yourself now that you're on campus?
I think the part I really just want to challenge myself is with my flexibility. I try to play smaller than I am, and a lot of people when they see me like, oh man, this guy's not fast or probably
Hmm.
just a big bruiser. But like I said, I try to play smaller than I am, and so I think that's what the coaches and my teammates are going to see on the first day of the field. First day when I get in pads is like, man, this dude plays smaller than he actually is and is really fast. And so that's what I'm trying to hone in on this year is just my flexibility and my speed this year. So
Hmm. Well, I'd love to hear that, bro. I'm really
yeah,
excited to kind of go out there. I'm
yes
gonna
sir.
be at every game, man. I'm gonna watch out for you, man. You better show out if you're gonna be talking all this.
Hey, I got you. Then that's
Hey,
the goal, nothing less.
hey,
So
I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Kind of thinking about the process that football players kind of go through. Obviously, before game, it's super serious. It's the real deal.
yeah.
And a lot of those times, I would just kind of replay these scenarios and the people that I love and that I care for. In those kind of scenarios, man, like who's your hero? Who do you kind of look for that inspiration? What kind of gets you driving, going?
Honestly, probably have to be my mom.
Hmm.
Just think about like all the hard times that we went through, and all the times that like people doubted me, and
Hmm.
wasn't said like I wasn't gonna amend to anything, and so I always keep a chip around my shoulder in anything, and
Hmm.
I'm ultra competitive. I don't like to lose, and so
Hmm.
that's what my teammates noticed for me since the little time I've been here. We've been playing cornhole, we play
Yeah.
basketball, and I'll keep on running games if I lose. Like I like to dominate my opponents. So And that too, just the thought of like losing, like I don't like to lose. So that what pretty much fuels me before a game. So
That's sweet, man. I love to hear it.
yeah.
You said, your flexibility and that you wanted to get better at. Is there anything in like football on the field wise that you'd like to get better at?
Gosh, anything on the field for football wise? Probably, I think the biggest thing, being a younger guy playing college football is that I want to be better at pass blocking, pass protection. You really didn't have to do that much in high school. You just pretty much just gave the ball to your guy and they ran. And so I think that's the biggest thing I want to hone on in this year for like football wise, just my pass protection.
Awesome. So what type of runner are you? Do you like set up and you look for the blocks? Do you kind of know where you want to go and you kind of hit, juke and are more elusive back like that? Or are you kind of just everything?
I'm gonna say I'm pretty much everything, I try to base like the team. I love film study, so I watch out for their key players and their tendencies, and so I try to base it off 4 quarters of the game. So maybe if the team's really aggressive in the first quarter, I'll hit them with speed, and if they're not so aggressive, then hit them with power in that first quarter, and just trying to just dwindle off, how their tendencies are during the game. And so that's why I just love the game, the position at running back, because you can really control, the tempo and control the defense on how your play is, because they have to react to you. So that's why I love it so much. And so I pretty much would say I have to be an all-around player.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go, bro. That's sweet. Now, here's kind of the real question. Obviously, me being from California, the Mexican food is absolutely incredible for me, man. But have you had a chance to check out any of the local spots out here?
I went to Iron Horse, so that was pretty good. I liked it. Went to 2 of ice cream shops out here. I love ice cream, and so I think I went to the Big Dipper and Sweet Peaks is what it was. And so
is ice cream your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, ice cream is sweets is my guilty pleasure.
Man, you're telling me, man.
And so I gotta watch out for it sometimes,
Yeah, you're an offensive lineman at heart. I'm telling you.
So people told me to get the Huckleberry ice cream out here.
Oh yeah.
And it was really good. So that's probably one of my favorite ice creams like ever now. So
that's good, man. That's good. Well, if you need any recommendation, me and Adam got you, man.
That's right.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Of course.
So what are you looking forward to in the rivalry? You mentioned the rivalry between Montana and the other school. But what are you looking forward to in playing in that rivalry?
I think I'm looking most forward to is just like winning it for the seniors and the upperclassmen. I know that they haven't had that trophy back home in a long time, and if I'm able to help contribute to that, for the seniors and the upperclassmen, I think that's the most thing I'm looking forward to is just, seeing that joy, and seeing that excitement on them, because they put the most time into the program, obviously, and they haven't had that turnout how they want to, and so if I can be able to help them with that this year, that's probably the most thing I'm excited for. So.
That's really awesome, dude. Yeah, it's been a tough couple of years. I was in kind of the gutter of all of that, so I definitely know what you're kind of talking about right there.
Yes, sir.
But besides the rivalry, man, like who are you really kind of looking forward to playing against as well? Have you thought about any other teams?
Gosh, I think the first game would have to be Washington. That would be a Pac-12 school, and I'm really excited. Go out there. This will probably be one of the bigger stadiums I've ever played at, so I'm really excited to go out there. And probably I've been looking at our schedule later on is probably North Dakota State. As being able to play them, if we get to play them in the playoffs this year, that'll probably be another school I'm looking forward to play. I know they had a great program over the past years, and so being able to play them would be awesome.
That's sweet, man. I love it. Just kind of getting to the end of these last couple of questions, Isiah. What are really kind of your expectations and your goals here at UM? It doesn't have to be, obviously athletically. It can be, just kind of the educational purpose or just kind of growing as a man. What are you kind of really hoping to kind of grow from this next chapter of your life?
So the things, I'm glad you said that. I've made my list, coming up here before, and so I think the number one goal for me coming out of here is obviously, to get my degree coming out of here. That's the number one goal. And then 2 is just, build on my weaknesses. And so I think for them, the classroom is just be able to prepare myself more and create like a better study habits for me. That's number one. Then on the field, it's just being consistent with everything that I do, whether it be, pass blocking, footwork, technique. I think consistency would be the biggest thing for me on the field. And then personal goals, on the field, I want to rush for 1,000 yards this year. Like that's my goal. And so, and then obviously get that trophy from the other team. That's my second goal for the seniors. And, my big goal is, win a national championship with these guys. And so, I got to put those little goals, see those first and be able to accomplish that big goal. Those little milestones will help me accomplish my big goals. So.
So you get the right mindset, man. You get the right mindset. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
Have you picked up a major that you want to go for?
Teaching and coaching, and I'm going to minor in leadership and development.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm a teacher, so it's a good profession, and yeah, I think you do well with it.
Yeah, I told my high school coach, after I get done playing football, hopefully that won't be for a very long time. I'd keep playing ball forever. But I told him, I was like, I'll come back and coach the high school team. So that'll be my little retirement plan after that. So
there you go. Get back to the community, man. That's what it's really about.
Exactly.
You know what, Isiah, kind of one of the last things that I'd like to ask from you, man, is just give a quick little message, man. Just kind of the community, just to kind of let them know what you are, what you're about, and what you're kind of looking forward to, man.
I think the biggest thing everyone's going to see from me is like on and off the field is that, I'm always a positive person. I always try to look out for people. And I always tell myself, the generation, the youth is going to lead to the future. And like I always told people at my old school, I was like, you got to be a better version than yourself than you were yesterday. And I live by that a lot. And so that's what a lot of people are going to see from me is I'm always going to try to do my, be better than I was in before. And they're going to see a competitor on and off the field, even in my studies and on the field as well. And so just to the people out there, I'm really excited to, get out here and meet everyone and be able to represent the football team, this town and the university and this community. So.
That's awesome. Hey, man. That's awesome, Isiah, man. We're excited to have you, brother.
We are, man. We are.
We appreciate you, your time, your energy, man. And we just can't we can't wait to see all the great things that you bring to the program, brother.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm eager to get out here, man. So
that's awesome.
Can't wait to roll. Can't wait to roll.
Number 26, right? 26 is your number?
So I'm not going to wear 26 this year. Okay. I'm going to honor Kobe. I'm going to wear number 8 this year. So.
Wow, there you go. Yeah. Doing it the right way, man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, Isiah, we'd like to thank you and just for your time, man. Can't wait to see you on the field, and yeah, we'll see you soon, man.
Yes, sir. I thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it, man, and just can't wait to. I'm eager to get started with you guys, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Isiah.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
You too.
All right, go Griz. Cool, man.